Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason and I am your watch guy today. Today I am reviewing one of the most spectacular looking Microbrand watches that I have seen in a long time. It's from a brand called Selten. Now, before I start, I do have to apologise to Selten for the amount of time that it took for this review to come out. I recorded it before I went on my holiday and thought I'd released it, and I hadn't. So these pieces are now available on their website at $609. Fantastic price for what you're getting. And another little caveat, they are about to release their Kickstarter on their second release, and it looks insane. It looks absolutely gorgeous. So if you are not as interested in this one and want to see what else they're doing, check out that Kickstarter because incredible piece. This one is the perfect mixture of a dress type sports watch, something that you could definitely wear on an occasion, and it really does catch the eye very nicely, especially with the bracelet that they have provided with this piece. As I say, $609 on their website. That is a pre-order price. It will be going up to $699. Again, completely worth it for myself. I think that's an absolutely fantastic buy. Selten have sent me this piece for free and I do get to keep it, so keep that in mind. Otherwise, they've had no say in this review at all. Let me turn this camera around and let's get into this review. Okay guys, so this is Selten's first release. It is their Series 00 and honestly it is an absolutely fantastic watch. The dial on this really does just take my breath away. This is available in multiple different configurations and they're available at pre-order right now. The pre-order price is $609, whereas the retail price will be $699. I think that this is possibly one of the best looking Microbrand watches I have seen at this price. It's absolutely spectacular and it's blown me away whilst I've had it in for review. So let me tell you why it's done that and what I actually do love about this piece. Let me start with the dimensions because that is a big part of it. It is a very wearable watch. So it is 40 millimeters in diameter. It is 12.5 millimeters thick. 47.7 millimeters lug to lug, which brings in a very wearable size in that lug to lug category. 20 millimeter lugs, which make this an easy switch out for a different band or bracelet. This one doesn't have a screw down crown. It is, however, signed and it does have levels of grip for you to hand wind this Miyota movement. It is the Miyota 9132. That 9132 houses that 24-hour sub-dial or that sun-moon display down at the 6 o'clock there, which is one of the real features of this watch. Stainless steel casing throughout and it's really well finished. The fixed bezel has a radial brushing to it. We have lineal brushing to the lugs, as you can see, a horizontal brush to the side and a really nice chamfered edge around the casing, which I really do think completes the aesthetic of that case. Very simple casing, 316L stainless steel. It's very simple, yet it really does do the job. It makes this a really wearable sports piece for me. As I move to the case back, you can see that we do have a display case back on this piece, and it does display that customized Selten rotor right there. That is a really lovely gold splash to this watch. Instead of the usual specifications around the outer edge, this one has a rare kind, not a stereotype, Selten. Some of their mottos, I suppose. Really nice level of AR coating, and that is on the underside of this sapphire crystal, which means that you won't get any weird smears through the crystal itself over time. With that all being on the other side, it is nicely protected. The crystal does sit slightly protruding the casing. We have a really nice high polish edge to that fixed bezel, which I think again does really complete the look of this watch. The real action on this watch is in the dial itself. This is the Meteorite Midnight Blue dial. They do have other options. They have a natural, a black, a few other pieces for you to pick from. This one was the choice for myself as, how can I say no to a blue Meteorite dial? It's just spectacular to look at. I think that they
outer edge to this dial, the minute track and the indices which sit on top of that minute track. I can't really call these applied indices because they are built into the outer edge, the chapter ring, if you will, and really does give that massive level of depth through the casing. The minute track is printed around the outer edge with those indices almost floating on the dial. I'll get a nicer shot for you to show you that, but it really does add a lot of presence to those indices, those black indices that is. The hour markers are lumed, they are C3 lumed with a black pigment to give this effect. High polished stainless steel around the outer edge, and that follows through on the inner side of that chapter ring to complete the look and draw it all together. Up at 12 o'clock we have the Selten logo in a almost plaque-like design. Even the plaque has got a really nice level of finishing to it. A more high polished outer edge with a brushed center and that Selten print in nice black ink. There's two handset options for this piece. I opted for the lance hands. I thought that it really did complete the dial much more and made it a more dressy type of watch, less eccentric for myself, and I thought that that was the way to go with this piece because of the eccentric dial. There is another option and they are all linked in the description along with this one. The lance handset is loomed with BGW9 and has a really nice outer edge stainless steel brushed effect to it. A very premium looking handset for myself, and what really does finish that premium looking handset is the flame blued second hand, which is sweeping away on the dial there, and that does reach nicely to the minute track on that chapter ring and does flow past the hour hands very nicely. At the 6 o'clock we have this sun moon dial display. There's a 24-hour dial display, however, as you can see, the really lovely effect of the two pieces of Meteorite that is sat on that sub dial. Very, very lovely looking piece and really does add something a little bit different to it. The outer edge is a stainless steel effect which does flow very nicely with the chapter ring itself. We have this star-like pattern throughout that sub dial. A really different way to do a 24-hour dial, and I really do appreciate that. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Now, I did mention the lume. Let me get the lights out and let's have a look at this lume signature. So here we have the lume signature on this one. The handset is quite well spread. The downside to this one is definitely the indices. Now, it's nice to see that these black indices do have a lume signature to them because it's not an easy thing to pull off. However, you can definitely see that it is very subdued and it's not very bright or long lasting, which is a shame. As I talk, the minute hand is actually fading a little bit. I do appreciate what they've done here because they've stuck with the look that they wanted to go with and tried to make it work alongside that. So they have stuck to the design premise first. However, on the Lume Shot itself, I'm going to have to give this a 5. Now, it is a 5, which is higher than you probably expect, and that's because these are black indices, so I am a little bit impressed that they've actually got that much in there. As we move away from the head of this watch where the real action is, move on to another very premium feeling piece. This bracelet is actually really well finished. It has a really nice brushed finish to the H-links, and those center links are very high polish. Very reminiscent of a Nautilus bracelet for myself. That's where I think this type of design has been inspired by. We have the Selten crest on this side of the bracelet here, the fold over clasp. Really nice perlage finish to the actual fold out itself. Very nice to see that they've added that little bit of quality. That being mentioned, the movement itself is actually really nicely finished too. I don't know if that's standard or something Selten have done, but yeah, very nice to see. The bracelet does have quick release spring bars. Again, really easy to switch this out onto different straps or bracelets if you have them, which I am going to do shortly. Let me get this on wrist and show you how it looks on my 6¼ inch wrist first. One thing to mention is that these are screw links. Selten did provide me with a screwdriver in the packaging, which was really nice of them, and it was actually really good quality. Actually quite impressed by it. Definitely going to keep hold of that one. Let me get this on wrist. I've really enjoyed wearing this. It's a pleasure. Definitely worth the type of price that they're charging. Okay, so there it is on wrist. As I said, this is a very nice sports, almost dress wear occasion type of watch. The dial does all of the work for it for me. I think that obviously it's a premium, exotic material dial, which will speak for itself every time. However, I think that they've done a little bit extra here with the finishing throughout the dial and that chaptering and indices, how they sit. I think that they've really nailed this entire design, and I've absolutely fallen in love with it. Let me get it onto the handcrafted leather band that they also included this watch with, and I'll show you how it looks on that. Another really nice touch by Selten, that numbered plaque between the lugs there. Again, just something that not everyone's going to see, and they've still added that little touch, and I really do think that that's the difference between a lot of microbrand companies. Selten have really gone the whole mile here. They've really ran the entire race. Very nice to see. Let me attach this band quickly to show you how it looks on it. This is from a company called Has No Bounds, which I'm guessing Selten are working alongside of to include these. I do like how that does expose the numbered plaque there. Another thing to mention is the two spring bar holes on the side of these lugs, which means you can get two different types of fits to a leather strap. I think that really does add a little bit of premium effect to this one, doesn't it? Very nice leather band here, and you can tell that it definitely belongs on a more premium watch. Very easy on wrist straight away, and that shows the quality of a really good leather band. Fits very nicely, and I think that really does add to the aesthetic of the watch. I think that this would definitely really bring home the dress style of this piece, or the dressability of this piece. And yeah, Selten have done really well with that. So where would my moans lie? Well, there are a couple. First of all, the crown, which controls the handset, is a little bit hard to get hold of. It is quite small in comparison to the casing, and it does sit quite deep to the case also, as you can see better from the back there. I would have liked to have seen an easier to manipulate crown on this piece. As well as that, on the bracelet itself, we do not have any micro adjusts, which means that it is going to be a little bit more difficult to find your perfect fit for this one. And thirdly, the lume is not going to be to everyone's taste. Unfortunately, when you do this type of black pigments, it is hard to get a good lume shot on there. And yeah, they've picked which way they wanted to go with it. And honestly, I think I'm personally glad that they've made that option, or that choice even, but I don't think everyone will be, so that is there to mention. Otherwise, I think for $609, or even at the $699, I think that this is a fantastic buy, and I think that it's one that a lot of people would love to have in their collection. I know myself, I've really enjoyed having it in and having it on wrist, and really getting to know this watch and getting to know Selten as a brand. I think that they're fantastic, they're doing fantastic work, and I can't wait to see what comes next from them.
Okay guys, so tell me what you think of this piece. I think it's fantastic. I really do. I think it's an absolutely beautiful dial. I really like what they've done with the day-night display at the 6 o'clock, and every little piece of that watch has been finished incredibly. So they've really not cut any corners on this project, and I really do appreciate that from a microbrand, especially on their first release. Absolutely incredible piece. Well done, Selten, and I can't wait to see the release of your next piece. I've seen the renderings, I've seen the pictures. It looks incredible. I can't wait to see it in other videos. That beautiful looking watch. Definitely go and check that out on their website, guys. Thank you for watching this one. Please remember to subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Leave me a comment. I do enjoy those. And I will see you in the next one.